Hello everyone, welcome to my another tutorial. So today I will show how we can enable the manual authentication for your agent. So you can see I already made one agent. The name is Copilot Studio Learning Course. So this agent will help us to learn the Copilot Studio, and in the backend it's using the Microsoft Learn documentation. So you see, I have added the name, description, and also the instruction. So if I go the knowledge, as a knowledge base, I have added here the Microsoft Learn documentation. So when I will ask any question, the agent will use this documentation and it will show the answer. Okay, so before asking any question, let's check the security. So if I go the security, right now I just added the no authentication. That means when user will open this chat assistant, they can start to chat. It won't ask the login information. But I will show how we can enable the manual authentication. So before enabling the manual authentication, let me check by asking the question in the test pane. So I'm asking the very simple question. Let's say, how can I make my first agent in Copilot Studio? So now it's trying to answer my question by using the learn documentation. So you got the answer, right? Okay. So let's try to add the manual authentication. For adding the manual authentication, I will follow the Microsoft Learn documentation because within this documentation they have added step by step instruction. So we just need to follow all the steps. So first it's asking to add the app registration and we need to sign in the Azure portal. So let me open the Azure portal first. Okay. So right now I just opened the Azure portal. Now I opened the app registration. So now I will create the new app registration for our agent. So if I go back again the learning documentation, it's asking to add the scope, supported account types will be the single tenant, and it's asking to leave the redirect URL blank. So we will do the same things. So it's asking to add the name. Let me add one name. You can add any name. I'm writing the Copilot Studio menu station. Okay, so right now it just selected the single tenant, that is completely okay, and it's asking to leave the redirect URL blank. So I just kept it blank and now register. Okay, so now we just created the app registration. We have to configure some more option. So then it's asking to add the redirect URL. So what you need to do, we have to go the manage, then we have to select the authentication, then add platform web, and this is the redirect URL. So we need to copy this URL. I just copied the URL from here. Now I need to go the authentication and then add redirect URL. I have to select the web. This is the redirect URL. I need to paste it here. Then we have to select these two options and then we have to click configure. So now it just added the authentication and this is the redirect URL. If I go back again the learning documentation, it's also asking to add on more redirect URL. So I'm adding again. I have to click the wave and then the redirect URL, and now I again add it. Okay, so right now we have two redirect URL we have just added here, and then the step is we need to go back the Copilot Studio, then we need to enable the manual authentication. But before going to the Copilot Studio, we have some more option that we need to configure within the Azure portal. So what we need to do, we have to add the API permission for Microsoft Graph. So if I go back to the Azure portal, then I need to go the API permission. Then add a new permission, Microsoft Graph. We need to select the delegated permission, and we need to add the OpenID for sign-in users and profile for the basic profile information. Because when the user will sign in within our agent, we will ask their profile information. So we need to enable these two options. So now I just added the permission. So now we need to grant the permission. So right now it's showing the status is empty. So when we will grant the permission, it should show the status successful. So right now this option is showing enable because I am the global admin in our organization. That's why. So in your cases, if you don't have the global permission, then it will show the disable. So make sure you have the global admin permission. So now just I granted this consent information. Within few seconds, it should show status successful. Okay. So now it's showing the granted successful. Now we need to add the scope. So now I just clicked it the scope. We need to add the scope from here. So when I click on the add a scope, it just automatically added the application ID URI. So now I click on the save and continue. If I go back to the learning documentation, we have added the Microsoft Graph permission, and now we need to add the scope. So we can write one scope name, and then we need to add who can consent. In that cases, we will add the admin and users. We need to write the display name, and the last we need to select the enable option. So let's go back to the scope name. Let's say I'm writing the users, display name, users info, some of the consent information, the same description I just copied from here, and I will paste it here. You can add any description according to your business requirement. And now the status is by default it's showing enabled, so we need to just add the scope. Okay, so we need to copy this scope URI because later on we have to add the scope URI within the Copilot Studio. So I will note it down all the information in the notepad. So first it's a scope URL. Okay, we need to create the secret also. So for creating the client secret, we need to click on the new client secret, and let's say I'm adding the name Copilot Studio Secret. So expiration date you can add according to your business requirement. For now, I just kept it by default option, and now I just add it here. Okay, again I need to note it down this information, the secret value. Okay, so here I just added the secret value in the notepad. Make sure you need to copy the secret value in the safe place, because when you again open these pages, it won't show the secret value. This is the one time value you can see. So make sure you noted down the secret value in the safe place. Okay, so now we have to note it down some other information that we need in the Copilot Studio, that is the client ID and the tenant ID. So I have added the client ID. So this is the then the tenant ID I need. This is the tenant ID. I just copy it. Okay, so these are the information I need in the Copilot Studio. Let's go back to the Copilot Studio, and now I will enable the manual authentication. So I just select the authenticate manually. I need to enable this option, require users to sign in. And now as a service provider, I will select the Microsoft Entra ID version 2 with the client secret. Okay, so now I will paste all the fellow data noted down in the notepad. So one by one, the first one is the client ID. So I just copied the client ID from here, and now I paste it here. And then the client secret. So this is the value. And then the token exchange URL. This URL is the scope URL. Okay, it's showing the scope profile open ID. That is completely okay. Now I just saved it. It will take just few seconds to syncing in the backend. Now it's showing it's saved. Let's go in the test pan so that we can test it. Okay, so when it just opened the new test session, now it's automatically showing to continue, please log in. So what happened in the backend, when I click on the login button, it just taking automatically my sign in information. That's why it's showing the validation code. But if I am not logged in any account, in that cases, it will ask the username and the email address. Then it will show the validation code. So let me copy the code and I just pasted it in the chat. So now it's trying to verify. It's showing the similar code that it's generated. Now it's showing, okay, I'm the Copilot Studio learning course, how I can help you. So I'm asking again the same question, how can I make my first agent in Copilot Studio. Okay, now it's trying to answer the question. It's not showing any error. That means by following all the steps, we can add the manual authentication in our agent. I will add the URL, Microsoft Learn documentation URL, in my video description. Thank you for watching.